You are listening to GHP Radio, powered by iTrackRadio.com, your independent music source. Fresh, new music, right here on the all-new GHP Radio, your new independent music source.
someone you love? Or is it mistaking someone you love for the thing? That's a love crash.
Since I met you, babe, all I think about is ways that I can please you. Oh, you are the one, you're my priority, and this I'm gonna prove. I'll do anything to keep a smile on your face. There's no debating, true love is give and take. No more hesitating. Yeah. To get it right. Oh, you got to give it right. Give it right. Yeah.
kind of love with purposeful intention, the kind you need in your life. I'll do anything to keep a smile on your face. There's no debating, true love is give and take. There's no hesitating. Don't be afraid, no, no,
To love with pure
I got good intention. Ooh, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Be good to me.
I'll be good to you.
Everything will be okay.
Everything will give it right.
Get it right.
You got to give it right. Yeah, give it right.
Get it right.
To get it right. Yeah.
Give it right.
Got to make it work.
Get it right.
You and me, baby. You and me, baby.
Get it right. Get it right. Give it right. Get it right.
All I want is loving you. Yeah, yeah.
Get it right.
Oh, give it right.
Get it right.
People out here taking a vacation. I've been out on more than one occasion. But baby, I've been saving up my love for you. Drop a check-in photo and I'm waiting. Been working hard and patient from 9 to 5 to weekend. And I know who to spend it on. There's only you to excel. I got some PTO, so check into Hilton and let's go. Don't wanna be moonlighting. We're full-time out there hiring, but I'ma be right here. Don't wanna be moonlighting. Kinda part-time out there hiring, but I'ma be right here.
People want a piece of what we have. Like the saying goes, the grass ain't greener on that side. No matter what they're saying, even what we do. Baby, I'm too wrapped up in you.
Been working hard and patient from 9 to 5 to weekend, and I know who to spend it on. There's only you to excel. I got some PTO, so difference who you are. Love comes from the heart. Oh, you can't tear it apart. No, you take it wherever you go. Just like a flower needs rain, true hearts will sustain over time. Don't you know that love will find its some way straight to your heart. Girl, it's your kiss, your smile drives me wild. Two hearts to surrender, enchanted land of splendor, where you smile. Girl, you simply drive me wild. A story of two hearts, dare to never part. Don't you know, love will, love find its way straight to your heart. It's your kiss, your smile drives me wild. Don't you know it does? Turn on over here, girl. Yeah. Woo. My girl. Love will, love find a way back to your heart, straight to your heart, lead. It doesn't matter who you are, it's coming straight from your heart. It's your kiss, your smile drives me wild. Yeah, 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 yeah. Love will find a way straight to your heart. True love doesn't surrender on a cloudy day. No, no, no. Love will find a way. Ooh, don't you know it? Love will.
Hey, Raja. I'm sorry, baby. I'm not gonna be here to make our little meeting like we planned. But we'll get together real soon.
Another sleepless
Love you.
night.
Bye.
I wanna be close.
What's this hold you got over me? I ain't in control, it's so crazy.
What the hell is going on?
Sleepless, restless, weary night after night. Missing what we share, it feels so right. I love your tone,
I love it.
the way you speak my name.
Rasha.
Waking me from my sleep, for you are real.
Where are you?
Only to find that you were never there.
Baby.
Did you really want me? Did you care? Can you feel me? Can you feel me? To me.
I wanna be close, baby.
Baby, can you feel me? Can you feel me, baby? To me. Closer, closer. As darkness falls all over my heart, the part that beats you seems so far.
Please come home.
Calling,
Please,
I
baby.
need you, and I know that you
shorty, do that. Tell me if you're staying or not. She like M King, tell me if you're paying or not. I'm like, come on, ma, tell me if you're playing or not. She on my MySpace, tell me if it's getting you hot. See, I'm a king getting stopped by a queen, and she a queen that's looking for a fiend. My jewels clean, fresh in my ice creams. But how she get all of that in them jeans? I'm Sub-Zero, the world's hero. Keep dodging the haters like Neo. I keep telling them fortunes like Cleo. But how deep is your love? Let me know. Come on, let me know.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of the Indie Live Spot. Very excited today for this great show today because we have a wonderful guest. Been so happy to have him here today. Help me welcome our guest, Mr. Evan Carydakis is in the house. What's up, Evan?
Thanks for having me, Gary, and that was beautifully pronounced.
All right. Thank you. I'm glad I got it right, man. I was wondering about that. It kind of bothered me all week. I was like, I got to ask somebody.
Gary, it's bothered a lot of people all my life. And, when I say my name, when you're going about your day-to-day life and you're booking something or you have to get something from the government or you go to the bank and people ask for my name, the second question 100% of the time is, how do you spell that, sir?
Yes. Oh, man. Well, Guy, welcome, man. We really happy to have you here. Really enjoy your music. Been really, Keith. He was Keith Gilchrist here, man. This man here, he's the one that actually turned me on to your music some time ago. And so ever since I've been kind of hooked to it, and so it's just great to finally have a connection with you, Evan, on the show here. And of course, I'm glad Keith can be here. Joyce Spencer, she's away this weekend. I believe she might be visiting family down in Louisiana, so that's the reason why she's not here. But of course, both Edward Ray Mack and Vaughn is here and as well. And so anyway, we're happy to have you here, Evan. And anybody else want to say anything? I know Keith, man, what do you got, brother?
What? What? You're talking right? Oh man, it's a pleasure to be back here with the family as usual.
Yeah.
Just staying busy. That man right there keep me on my toes every single day. Every single day, But everything has been real good. Just picked up 2 new clients a couple of weeks ago. One of them, Will Ready.
Oh yeah, Will. Yeah.
I just picked him up, and
awesome.
Ted Hammonds.
Mm-hmm.
We're into this Grammy situation right now.
Right.
So I have 5 of my clients that's up for Grammy consideration.
Wow.
So everything has just been a blessing,
Very cool.
With I call us the family.
Yes.
Right.
So
right.
we've been vibing from Yvonne J, to Evan Carydakis, to Maz Johnson, which she has a show tonight up in DC.
Okay.
So Heidi Tan, everything has been good.
Awesome. And and then also I just want to thank Evan for putting up with having to get up so early too, because I know they're in where he's at. He's in Australia, man. I tell you, what they say, the down under. Is that what they always say?
Exactly. Far down under.
So what part of Australia that you in?
You did you ever watch cartoons? And do you remember a cartoon that featured the Tassie Devil?
The Tasmanian
Tasman Day. You're the Tasmanian?
Exactly. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to live in one of the big cities, Melbourne, north of here. But I'll tell you something, gentlemen. I got married, and I said to my wife, I'm not moving to Tasmania, you're moving here. So, 6 months later, I'm in Tasmania. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, we know how that flows.
Yes. I know how that falls. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
I know how that falls, sir.
Very good.
But
Ooh-wee.
the flip side of that is I couldn't be happier. So it's a
that's
great
good.
base. It's a very rural place, but it gives me a lot of. You have an opportunity to breathe here. It's good in that sense. Really
Right.
good.
Yeah. Very nice, man.
Well, see, for us, at least for the world, Now everybody gets to know it's not a myth. There is a place called Tasmania.
Yeah, that's true.
There is a little creature that's a Tasmanian devil as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, dang, Evan, tell us a little bit about yourself, man, because your music is great, man, and I just I'm kind of interested in hearing how long you've been at it, doing this music thing and I know you play the saxophone. Is the saxophone your main instrument of choice? And as far as your music production, how does that all come together?
Well, I grew up in a musical family, so both of my brothers played bass. So the first instrument that I picked up was an acoustic guitar. And Gary, I have a twin brother.
You do?
He's the same age as me.
All right. Okay.
Of course, he produced the first 2 releases, and we used to fight a lot because we were twins. Twins fight.
Yeah.
It's part of growing up.
Yeah.
So I remember one day I got upset. I was a kid. I got upset with him about something. So I grabbed his electro bass and I dragged it on the ground and scratched it. And then he went and picked up. Then he went and picked up my acoustic guitar and he whacked it on the end of the bed.
Oh.
That was the end of my guitar playing career.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
So that's how it all started.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how saxophone started. Not by hearing it. We used to have a record store in town called Allen's Music. I remember this. And back in those days, it was vinyl. There was no CDs. There was no Spotify, no nothing.
Yeah.
It was just vinyl records.
Yes.
So I'm in there, I'm flipping through the jazz section, and Keith knows this story. I come across an album. I think it was one of his early albums by Brampton Marsalis called Royal Garden Blues. Now, if you open up that album, the middle section of that album had a killer photo. It was Bramford. I think it was in a purple suit. He was in this, I don't know, like a garden of roses or with his saxophone. And I looked at that and I said, I want to be this guy. And that's how saxophone started. So
wow.
Yeah. So it's mainly saxophone. In answer to your question, it's saxophone and flute. But I haven't really recorded with flute. Yeah, Gary, because I tell you, there's a lot of great flute players out there in our genre, and I don't think I could compete with them.
Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Come on with it.
Yeah. And right now, Evan, most of them are women, and they are awesome.
Oh yeah. It's fantastic, I tell you.
That is true. Now, and now that you say that, and I know I've asked somebody, I might have asked Joyce that question, and I just forgot to answer what her answer was, but is there some type of correlation with the flute and the saxophone? Because a lot of saxophone artists I've been noticing also plays the flute too. I noticed I got a handful of people I can mention that does that, but is there a relationship between the two instruments? Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'll tell you what the relationship is. When you're growing up and you're playing in school bands or big bands, often if you're playing saxophone, you have to double on clarinet and flute. There'll be a flute part, or there'll be a clarinet part, and the saxophone section has to be able to double on one or both of those instruments. And that's how we grow up learning to play those additional instruments, because it's a requirement, I guess, in big band music.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Wow. Very cool.
Isn't the fingering about the same on the keys, Evan?
That's what I heard.
Exactly that too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that explains it very well then. Yeah. Okay.
The person I ever know to play the clarinet was Benny Goodman.
Ooh.
Who was that?
I know who Benny Goodman is. The Benny Goodman.
I was too young.
No, hey, Keith, I can go back far back as how far back can I go? Probably that's about as far back as I can go. All the big band era. But I'll tell you, speaking of that, but I grew up the first jazz that I grew up listening to is the founders of the modern language, John Burke's Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker.
There you go.
Those two guys right there, because everything, and I'll say this too, including to a certain extent smooth jazz, goes back to those guys, because you know what they created? For me, what they created in jazz is this type of forward motion. You know how they play? You know how they play with the 16th note and the 8th note? They created that motion of always moving forward. And you hear elements of that a lot of the time in smooth jazz, in certain players, especially in their soloing, maybe not in the melodies, but they're doing that. They're playing, and the offbeats the accents that Bird used to do, and Dizzy, so everything, I think, in my opinion anyway, in the modern language, even way up to today, is built on what those two created, invented, did. So we owe a lot to them, and of course the people that came before them. But yeah, they were the first two.
So I guess what I'm feeling, what you're saying is that it propelled the music into a whole nother venture. Yeah, bebop era.
There's no doubt it did. It modernized the music, and even 100 years later, it still modernized the music.
It's still modernized. Yeah, they're still pushing it even today. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you go down that lineage, in that particular type of music, I know we've gone away a little bit from smooth jazz, but that's where I started listening. Then you go to what Coltrane did, especially if you listen to A Love Supreme, and if you just listen to that, and not the notes he's playing, but if you just listen to his sound, right? If you just listen to Coltrane's sound, you understand that his sound is coming somewhere very, very deep.
Yeah.
You get it?
Oh,
you know, when you hear his tone, just one note, you can hear that porno, that pain, that happiness, that it's coming from somewhere else.
Coming from somewhere
you get
else.
It?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So that was another thing. And that was, I don't think that's ever been, in my opinion, it's never been equaled or surpassed or,
right.
I
call it otherworldly.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Von, one of those songs on that album, I didn't know until I read the Lydia notes, it was a poem that he was playing that was on the liner notes on the album. Thank you, God. And then I played it back. I can't remember which part of the album it was, and I was reading it, and then the hairs on the back of my neck was standing up, just reading it and listening to it.
Right.
You're
specifically about the album Love Supreme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be one. I mean, it could be resolution. It could be acknowledgement. Yeah. It could be either one of those compositions that just, that album is incredible. You're absolutely right. And sometimes it's something that you can't be moving around the house trying to listen to it. You have to sit down and just actually, let those vibrations go through you, and it's heavy. It's heavy it's a heavy album. No doubt. No doubt.
You're real on that one, Vaughn. Because every time I listen to it, sit back with their Grand Marnier. Wow. It's like a wow moment.
Yeah, man.
It is.
Yeah.
And I have a bottle of Grand Marnier now in my cupboard too, Keith. You reminded me to get a bottle.
See? There you go.
See, the man here, he's all class. Every time I look at him, he's eating well, he's drinking well, he has nice cigars. It's true.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Awesome.
And then, hey, Gary, if I may,
Yes.
and then of course, additional to all that, because I have an older brother and older sister, well older, 13, 14, 15 years, in our family, we grew up listening to intergenerational music. I was listening to what they were listening to. They were listening to Steely Dan, the Doobie Brothers, Bill Withers, all these guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got all that stuff as well growing up. So we've got this great mix. I mean, good music is just good music, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Very true.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about your first release. I mean, like, because you had before the latest two singles that I have. Now I got some more music. I actually got some more music of yours. Keith was able to send me some more to play a little bit later for our listeners. But I know some of the music that he sent. I think it was off of your Groove House album. Which is nice. I really like that, man. I wasn't aware of it beforehand. But tell us a little bit. Did you have more music before the Groove House, or was the Groove House your first, or what was your first release out?
Excuse me. I had plenty of music, but that was my first release, and that's when I got together with my brother and said, "Look, it's time now. It's time now we put something out." And my brother, he was my producer for that album, and that was a real, let me say, exercise, because I used to come up with my parts and send them off to my brother, and he used to come back and say, "Man, you know what? You suck."
Oh Lord!
Now, what are you doing? That's what it was like for you. What are you doing? Go back. That's not right. Listen.
Yeah.
It was like that. But it was a great learning curve, and
sure.
We got there in the end, and he taught me a lot about the difference between, playing in a studio and playing live. But essentially, what he taught me was, in the studio, you've got to do the same thing. You've got to capture like a good live performance. It's, that's what you have to do. You've got to capture a good live performance. And that was the challenge for me on that album. Not necessarily the songwriting, because I really approached the songwriting from a discipline point of view.
Yeah.
And I got it done, because I'm good in that sense. But certainly in the studio, the challenge was the live performance. And
you mentioned, and like you said, you mentioned your brother was your producer. So you guys, your brother lives in a different city.
Exactly. Yeah, he lives across the water in Melbourne, in Victoria, the state of Victoria, where I used to live. So we did everything via the cloud. That's how we worked. I mean, he produced most of the parts. He spent hundreds of hours programming drum parts. He's a bass player, so he put the bass lines himself. We got some guitarists, some keyboard players, and a few other guests on there to fill in all the gaps that we needed. But we got it done. Yeah.
That's cool, though, man. That's really cool that you was able to work, with family. You guys, like I said, because you said your brother was doing music, and then you said there was some more people in your family, right? Who else was it?
My older brother, he played bass as well, and my father, he also had a really good voice, because believe it or not, my grandfather was a priest in our church, and you've got to be able to sing in church. And my father had a very good ear and a very good voice. He wasn't a musician, but
Very cool. Very cool.
So, Evan, what is because I guess I wasn't too familiar, I didn't get familiar with the musicians out of the South Pacific as much as most, other areas, like in Japan or in Poland, and some of the sounds that comes out of India, West Africa, on a global scale. I didn't know there was what is the jazz scene like in Melbourne? I mean, in Australia. I mean, is it active? Are you guys doing a lot of jam sessions, get together and just go at it and enjoy each other's company? Yeah, I mean, the first time I really heard of any jazz musicians coming out of that area was Nathan Haynes, who's out of New Zealand.
Yeah.
And he did a recording with Marlena Shaw that is still like one of my favorites. Is it like widespread, or is it just kind of concentrated in certain areas?
No, it's I'd say it's widespread, but it's bigger along the east coast of Australia. We're always touring. In fact, we're off in October, 2 shows in Sydney, a show in Melbourne, a show in Brisbane, and then we're out again in November, and then January, February, March. So there's plenty of opportunities to play jazz at jazz clubs along the East Coast, and a lot of them are very well patronised and very well established. I mean, they've been there a long time. You know, they're not the Blue Note or the Vanguard, but you know, they've been there a long time.
Right.
And there's many opportunities to perform our music in this country. You've got to travel, but there's many opportunities.
Okay.
They have a lot of festivals there, don't they, Evan?
Man, there's about 15 festivals that I've been approaching recently in our region in Australia, sort of New Zealand, which is also down under. Yeah, about 15 in just out in my country and next door, which I'd call New Zealand, which really is another part of Australia. More New Zealanders live in Australia, I think, than they live in New Zealand. But yeah, there's a lot of festivals,
Wow. Very cool, very cool. Now, being that you live in Australia, is it, you know, because like I said, I had no clue. I've never been on that side of the world, but you know how we get influences from television and different things. Tell me, is the kangaroos, is there a lot of those around, or is that just out in the rural areas?
No, it's mainly out in the rural areas, Gary. But I tell you, occasionally when I was growing up, and we had, you know, in certain years you had droughts, you had very dry weather. Certain years it was very wet. But in the dry weather, when it become very dry, you'd often see them in the outer rural areas because they'd come in trying to find water. And I remember once I was driving up the highway. My brother was in the front seat, my cousin was in the back seat. And out of nowhere, this kangaroo just jumped straight across the highway. And I tell you what,
wow,
I nearly marked my pants because it was that close.
Wow.
And I wasn't expecting it, and it was in a built-up area. So yeah, sometimes they do come in when the weather's dry, but mainly in the rural areas.
Wow. Yeah, there's some pretty fierce animals, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very strong.
Yes.
Ain't nothing but a big old rat. He'll beat the hell out of him.
Oh my goodness.
Old rat.
Yeah. Well, you know what? What I want to do right now, Evan, I want to introduce some of the music, the earlier music, or that I was talking about for viewers before we get into some of your latest, because we got plenty of time for that. But what I want to do, I want to play a selection. Let's see here. It was oh yeah. Tell me your thoughts about when you guys came up with Groove House.
Yeah, that was the first single I wrote. That I took it to my brother, and he said, That's what he said. So I took that back to the drawing board after taking his advice, redid it, and then we got it to a stage where we thought, yeah, this could really, really groove and really, really do well on radio, because that's what we had in our mind. We said we have to have a melody that the listeners can connect to, and that's the main thing in our genre, Gary. We have to respect the listeners, and we have to give them something that they can, they can relate to. I mean, that's the good thing about the music that we're into now, smooth jazz. It has the it has the sensibility of pop music in a sense, but it does have the elements of jazz, especially in the soloing. But and that's my first let's just say my first render of that song, or first couple of renders, was a little too jazzy, a little too many notes. So we brought it back to the center, and I was very happy with the way where it ended up, that song. Real happy.
Yeah, very good, man. Okay, well, I want to go ahead and introduce that, and then I'm gonna throw something else on afterwards, and then we'll come back, and then we'll ask you about that track too. So my viewers, if you're just tuning in, we are talking to Evan Carydakis. He's here today on the show, and we're very excited about having him here. Got some great music, and we just getting started. So let me do that. You guys get your ears ready and keep it locked, and we'll be right back. Oh man, we're back.
See, that keep me from eating that big meal, you know, or being so hungry. Because when we get through the show, we be like, "Oh, gotta go get some meat."
Yeah. But we are back, and of course, Ray's trying to give. I can't believe it, but he's trying to give Keith hell about eating when he's the one that be eating all the time on the show. But anyway, we are back, and you just got to hear some great music from our guest, Evan. That was nice, man. Both of those tracks there that we just heard. We heard the Groove House, and then of course, Moving On. Yeah. So tell us about Moving On. Moving On's nice as well.
Yeah, that was the first time we worked with someone else. So we really needed a good keyboard part. When I said work with someone else, it was the first time we worked with someone else in the US. So we really needed a good keyboard part, and our usual guy here wasn't available for some reason. So I asked one of my colleagues in the States, who would you recommend? And they gave me three names. The first two didn't work out for some reason, and the third one did.
Okay.
Boy, am I glad the third one worked out. That guy, a gentleman called Michael Whitaker, and he's in Nashville.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And we got him to play keys on that, and we still produced it, and we still got it mixed and mastered here. Mm-hmm. But that really came out a treat, that song. It's a very simple song and not much to it, but we really got it right. I think we got that song right from the start, and
so you did. It sounded really well.
That led well to the current single that's out there now.
Which is very nice as well. We're gonna definitely get into that one next, and everything. Yeah. And so Ray, what are you looking at?
No, I was reading.
Oh. So yeah, looked like they was looked like you was seeing a deer with headlights or something.
Oh, I was over here reading what they talking about in the chat.
Yeah, and by the way, hello to everybody in the chat room. We really do appreciate you guys every week when you come in and talk to us, keep us company during the show. So definitely appreciate that. Yeah. So what's going on right now, Evan, as far as your music goes? I know that you just released, this last release that we're going to definitely let our viewers check out, Cherry Pops. That is the latest, right? As of right now, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the latest release as of right now. I think we went for ads. I think it was back in April. We went for ads, and we've had an incredible run with that song. Like, it's been 16 weeks in the charts. I think it got as high as 28 on the Smooth Jazz Global Top 100. It got to the mid-30s in the radio wave groove chart. It got on Smooth Jazz Network's Top 100. I mean, it just really charted well. It was really very well received, and definitely the best success I've had thus far in the business, as far as chart position and Spotify and coverage and longevity. It's been absolutely great.
Love it, man. And then you have there's actually a story behind that particular track, though, right?
Yeah, I hope it doesn't sound too corny, but for anyone who's ever loved dogs, we've loved animals all our life, and we've always had a particular breed of dog in our family. It's called an Australian Kelpie. It's basically a sheep dog or it's a dog that works on a farm. So it does the work of 3 humans basically, and it goes all day long. And really, this country back in the day was built on the back of these animals. Like, they helped the workers and the farmers to manage their livestock. So we had our last cow, she was a beautiful black and tan Kelpie.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't know this. I didn't know that dogs get the same disease as a human, but she got canine lymphoma. I know Keith got his own stories about lymphoma as well, which maybe he can tell us about after this, my quick comments here. But she got canine lymphoma, and she battled on for 13 months, and without fear or favour, never, and the story about it really is this, and which I've told Keith: if you look at that animal, never complains, always has a smile on its face. If you put food in its mouth, it just loves you to death. So it's, in a sense, when you think about it, it's a good example of, it can be a good example of, how we should be. Just thankful, grateful, chin up, don't complain in any circumstances. So yeah, that's the story behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a beautiful dog.
She was a beautiful dog.
And every time I would talk to Evan, she'd be right there. And, I always just love the pictures that he would post of her, and we would always talk about it.
And how many years did you have her with you?
Yeah, it's 6.5 years on this earth.
Okay.
6.5 great years. Great years.
Yeah. Yeah, I like dogs too. Okay. Very cool.
So, what's in the future? Coming to the States to perform or what, Evan?
It is. Along with this release, I went. I talked a lot about it with Keith, because he's my main man online and helping me and directing me and guiding me. I love this guy, and working with Keith, like you said before, it's working like family. When you build good relationships, it's not business. Well, it is business. Let's be honest. It's business, but it becomes like family. So we spoke about, what is the next levels of success moving forward, and one of those things was performing in the States. So when I released Cherry Pop, so I went to Smooth Jazz Global, Sandy, and really Sue Parker, who's now retired. Sue's she's wonderful. She reminds me of Keith a lot, because again, they've always got time for you and they make you feel like family. And she said, look, why don't we do a booking promo for you? We've got a network of festivals, promoters, blah blah blah. We'll put that at the same time as Cherry Pop, so one can leverage off the other. And it was very successful. Now, I can't say which festivals I'm coming to because the contracts haven't been signed yet, but in next year, towards middle to the end of next year, there's 2 festivals that I'll be performing at in the States. And the way I look at it is that's the start. That's the opening. That's the start. And now I have to build on that. I have to make that something else. It's leverage for something else. So yes, in answer to your question, we are coming. And gentlemen, you want to know what the biggest expense is coming to the US to play?
What's that?
Anyone want to guess?
Yeah.
But I know.
Keith knows. Let me tell you, it's not the airfares, it's not the accommodation, it's not this, it's not that, it's not yada yada yada. In order to play in the States, and this, I both don't like it because of the cost, but I like it because it protects American performers. But it's the visa. You have to get a particular visa. It's an I-1 visa, and by the time you're said and done with the lawyers' fees, it's for 2 of us, because I'm bringing my musical director. I'm not going to bring the whole band because it's not not feasible, and it doesn't work like that anyway. You pick up your local rhythm section and you rehearse when you're there. But for the two of us, it's 81, just shy of 8,100 US dollars to get our visas. That translates, Gary, do you know about currency conversions?
Oh, what is the conversion?
About 12 grand in our money.
Wow.
It's about 12 grand. You know?
Yeah.
And Vaughn, I sat there pondering this, right? And I told Keith this story. I was talking to my musical director who plays in my band, he's my guitarist, and I sat there pondering, I said, how is this possible? And anyway, the bottom line is what I came to the conclusion, and it is the truth, that any artist wishing to perform in the US cannot avoid these fees. You want to play in the US, you got to pay up. And that's the way it is. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to pay up. We're going to get the job done. We found a great lawyer in California, Sherman Oaks, who specializes in this area.
Okay.
And he takes care of business. Like, we could do it ourselves, right? But if we made a mistake or we made an error, we'd be back to the drawing board. And the processing time for these visas is 6 months. So if you make a mistake, you could be 6 months back. So, yeah, we get it done, and we get it done right.
Right.
So, yeah, that's how we're going to do it.
Wow. I had no idea it was that much.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, it's mainly lawyer fees. I mean, I think the government fees might be about 1,400 or 1,500 US dollars, and the rest is the lawyer fees. But the truth is this: they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to take a risk.
They have attorneys called entertainment lawyers over here.
That's it. Sorry, that's it.
Yeah.
That's who this guy is. It's DMT, and in Sherman Oaks, and that's what they do. Exactly what you said, Von.
Yeah.
The phrasing, the wording that you use, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's what they specialize in, no doubt.
Yeah. That's their hustle. Just artist visas.
That's
But the flip side of that, or the good thing about it is it lasts up to 3 years. So in other words, you don't have to renew it for 3 years. So that cost amortizes over 3 years. So it might be 12 grand, but it actually is, 4 grand a year.
Okay.
Exactly.
You look at it like that.
Yeah.
And then what your job as an artist is, okay, make it work now. You need to get X amount of festivals in the US for the next 3 years to make that work. That's how you make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a lot to it, isn't it? It's just,
It is a lot to it. But you know what? You know what, Gary? Think about this. There was a lot to landing man on the moon, but they did it. You know what I mean? There's always a lot to get to the next level. But you know what? You just got to hustle, and you just got to work it out. There's always a solution.
No
but yeah,
doubt.
I agree. There's a lot to it, but it can be done.
Oh yeah, absolutely it can. Yeah, and that's the thing, about a lot of things. You got to sacrifice pretty much to do or get the things that you really want. Sometimes. So.
The most important thing that for me in this business, this is my experience of this business, is the hustle. That's the most important thing. I'm not the best sax. I hate to tell everyone, but I'm not the best sax player in the world. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's about the hustle. So, for example, when I sent this campaign out about, for the festivals, to get festival bookings in the US, I would have sent out 260 emails through a particular email service that I use. And then it was just the follow-up. Can we do a call? What about, I remember one festival director, I tried to get him on a call 3 times, and I never gave up. And I got him on a call on the 4th time. And by the 5th time, I had a letter of offer. So Isn't that true in life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Yes.
That's what
right.
it is.
Yeah.
You just need to keep getting up.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
You
Definitely.
know, you got to make the connection. You have to make the connection.
You do. You do. So
The
important.
grind is real.
It is.
Every single day. You know, we always have to sit down, converse, come up with a good strategy on how we're going to make this execution to the next phase. You know, and I tell all my clients, you have to learn this business.
Oh my
You have to learn this business. We all don't know everything. We all feed off each other. They ask me a question. If I don't know, I'm going to find out for them. And I'm going to get back to them as quick as possible.
Yes.
And Evan can attest to that. You know,
100%.
and that's how we work. And that's how we're going to continue to work. So now, you know, now that the visa and everything is in place, you know, he's got a couple of things going on. Now, the other part of my job is seeking out more festivals, send him the information so he can send them out a letter. You know, and this is how we're going to work it, you know, over these next several years.
Absolutely.
You know,
Connect the dots.
connect the dots. You know, so
You
you know,
notice-
he's been, he's truly been a bright spot in my life as a client, as a friend, you know, and I have other artists that talk to me about him. So his light does shine. And the first thing they said, man, I hope all your clients like Evan. Oh my God. That guy, he be hustling. He got to go on mute, sound good. I say, we're a team. And our team, us 40-some artists and clients, we're known as the family. And this is what we do.
Right.
And if trust me, if I see they doing the wrong thing, they already know. It's time for the Pinewood Show. That's right, baby. You know, but, you know, it's you know, we just connected like that. You know, we don't disrespect one another. You know, but if I see, well, no, you know, hey, you know, I think we could do this a little better, or that may be wrong. They have no problem. Right. We have so much respect for one another, and this is the way a team's supposed to be. Whether and we're like on the cusp of what we do, almost like a record label. You know, but we use other entities in place to get us to whatever we need to get to.
Right. Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, man.
But you know, Keith, I found out, you know, doing this kind of stuff for years, a lot of artists don't even try to learn this daggum business. And, you know, and that's not the way it should work. They should know this business hands down.
You're right. You're right, Ray. You are exactly right. I mean, because things are hard enough as it is in the business.
Yeah.
So you need to learn this business. That's why periodically I put tidbits out there, you know, for artists. Hey, it's on you to read the information, you know, what I'm putting out there, research what I'm putting out there.
Right.
You know, because them guys, they don't know. We go to different meetings.
Yeah.
You know, if it's about terrestrial radio stations, if it's about something iTunes or TuneCore is coming out with to try and make changes on different platforms and this, that, and the other. Hey man, it's never ending.
Right.
Never ending.
You know, it's almost like you better watch your back.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It changes a lot.
You know, so
yeah,
we try and stay up on it as much as possible. You know, even far as their who they publish, you know, publishing, you know, trying to get their money. You know, we trying to look at the best source of doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so say if you did it with one company where you had to keep it in there, what, for a year or something like that before you can change, you know, okay, hey, I'm not getting that much. Okay, well, I know I was talking to one of my other clients. They say this company, they do them right. It's a whole lot better than what you're getting now. So when that it's time to change, let's make that change and come on over. Do something else. So yeah, we have to watch each other's back for real in this business.
Oh, no doubt.
And I just been so blessed to be connected with so many different people on the West Coast, up in the East Coast, all my folks down here in the South, and we have a relationship and a partnership, just like me and John Taylor, me and Gary, we've been like brothers, and Ray for a number of years. This is what we do.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to compete with one another. We're a family, and this is what we do, and this is how we build success.
For years, even with Grizzly living, because I would bring this up all the time about this business. Well, if you don't learn it, you may as well just kick it to the curb. You may as well just stop doing what you're doing.
You got that right.
Oh, yeah.
You got that right. Ollie Reed told me one time, we were sitting there having a conversation, and he said, well, you know what, Keith? You got to pay somebody. You gotta pay somebody. You cannot do it all yourself.
Right.
And if you don't want to pay somebody, guess what? You might as well go sit in the basement. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Dude, that's on point for real.
He was on point on that,
Yeah.
Because see, the thing was, when I first started doing this here, and Gary I built a website to help the independent artists. And whatever genre they're in, I had a program and a music director for every genre. Okay, then. And they go back in there and check everything, what rotation in, how, where is it at in the rotation. I don't think I was asking for probably $3,000, for 6 to 8 weeks or more. I ain't got no money. Okay, then, well. If you can't afford to do that, but you steady spending money and on your albums and stuff like that, what are you doing? Are you getting out there performing it? Are you selling the album? Or what are you doing?
Because we all know, we in the business, we all know the little money that's coming behind putting out music. We already know that. So what is the end game? Performances. Doing the performance, that's where you make your big cash.
Yep, that's right.
But if you don't put out a great product, you're not going to achieve that goal. You're not going to do it at all. Because when promoters hire me to do a job, to do my investigation, okay, who are you looking at? Well, Keith, what do you think about this person here? Okay, let me get back to you. They want me to bring them, I'll send them a few pieces of music so they can hear the sound. I'm going to bring them pristine pictures so they know what he looked like.
Yeah.
Then I'm trying to find performance videos because, and I just had this conversation this morning in a meeting. The promoter wanted to see if he could put wallets in the seat.
Of course, yes.
Not butts. He want wallets in the seat. He want paying customers.
Yes,
The venue want paying customers. So what? You got to pay, like I got a friend that's a promoter out in Arizona. When he gets an artist, he's paying for the flight, he's paying for the hotel, he's picking you up, or he's got ground transportation for you. He's got a band waiting on you. He's got the venue. He's paid for the insurance. And all you're doing is picking up a paycheck. You come in, you're doing a sound check. You got a rehearsal. So you sent out your music. You sent your charts. So you good to go.
Well, see, that's the same thing I just come off of last month. Doing a stage play. Damn good story. Had to do all that as what you just got through saying. And I'm telling you, it is work.
It's work.
It's work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, for sure.
And the sad part about that is A lot of artists don't know that background part.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what goes into doing a performance.
Yeah.
I got a client that's doing a performance tonight in DC. So the people that she's been working with, I had to make sure her contracts were signed properly. I've been in touch with the musical director. You know, I've been in touch with everybody along the line, even though I technically don't have anything to do with the show itself. But that's my client, and she wanted me in on it because she trusts me that way.
Absolutely.
And I'm not gonna let anybody take advantage of any of my clients because they need me to step in. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know,
ands and buts about it. You know, that's even with the venue. If the venue is not right, if they're not doing the right thing, that's when you step in also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because we know how some venues can be.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let's do this real quick. Let's take another music break. I want to play Cherry Pops, and then of course I'll throw another tune right behind that, and then we'll come back and talk about that. Okay. Sounds good. All right. All right, everybody, keep it locked. We'll be right back.
Power runs, y'all on mostly on solar panels, aren't you?
Ray, you know the cost of electricity has gone up so much here in the last 10 years. It's a joke. I can't believe it. We have so much natural resources. We have hydroelectricity, and we have solar panels. We have the wind.
Yeah.
And, you know, electricity keeps going up. I can't. It's something I can't stomach it. How the cost of electricity has gone up this much. It's just I can't.
Well, I know it's killing you. Because it's killing us here too.
Yeah, it seems like it's everywhere, isn't it? Yeah.
And then they talking about bringing electric cars. And they kicked them cars to the curb. You ain't getting nowhere on them.
All right, but anyway, we're back, and that music. Oh man, that was nice, Evan. We actually just the last track we just heard was Ponderosa. That's got a nice kick to it too. I like that one. And then of course right before that we had Grand Central, and then we started that set off with Cherry Pops. So all three tracks was nice, brother.
Thank you.
Ponderosa is one of Henry Mixon's favorite tunes.
Okay, I see why. It's jamming. Henry, I see you out there. I see you in the chat. So, of course, I hadn't seen the chat that much as far as I didn't know if you had any special comments for Ray. But I know.
No, they were roasting me for a minute.
Oh, were they? Okay.
And Colleen, when I put up the Pinewood stick.
Oh, yeah.
They talking about I need my own theme song.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, but no, it'd be great, man. Evan, once you get established where you can get over here, man, that would be good to see you over here performing.
Oh yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. Now, sort of every show that we do here now, we have that in mind, because we know when we get there, we know it's up quite a few other levels.
Yeah.
And when you're there and you're playing at your first festival, if you don't put your best foot forward, you might as well not play. So, you know, Keith always send me stuff. Look how that person moves. Look how this person moves. Look how that person moves. You know, how I look on stage, the production. We're starting to bring in stems that will automatically trigger on stage. So we've got a sound that's more like what you hear on record, but it's still a live show. There's still that spontaneity.
Yeah.
So everything we're doing now is with that in mind.
Do you when you're at home though, do you video your shows to check out your performance?
Not all of them, but the 50 or 60% of them, yes. And I've got a lot of improving to do on stage in the way I move and connect with the audience, and that's something that's a non-negotiable. That has to be fixed.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, because there's a certain standard in our genre or in our industry of, you know, feeling the music, like Keith says, and connecting with the audience, and you know that's got to be up a few more levels.
Right.
But all the things like that is an easy fix, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, like he said, you know, the main thing is feeling your music, because the audience can understand and feel what you feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And if they're not, and I told a guy this a long time ago, I helped him with the marketing for a show that he was doing. He came back and he was so ecstatic, you know, he wanted to show me the video. I looked at it. Music was great, beautiful. It bumping, the band was kicking. He stood there.
Yeah.
He stood there by the piano, didn't move.
Right.
And I'm like, and I, when they ask me a question, apparently you want my feedback.
Yeah.
You want my honesty. So I'm gonna let you know what I feel as a consumer, because I'm out here spending my money, my hard-earned money, whether it's me or I'm bringing a guest, and if I'm not entertained, because that's why they call it entertainment.
Yeah.
That's why we're in this business, to entertain the audience. So if you're not entertaining me, guess what? That's the last time you got my money, because I can purchase your music. Your music sounds good.
Right.
So I can purchase that, download the streaming, inbox you, hey, can you send me a signed copy? I ain't never got to come to another show.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at, because I had to look at when I was an entertainer. That's we went out there to do as a group.
Absolutely.
So I practiced in front of my family. I had a full-length mirror that was in the hall closet. I practiced in front of that, my routines, along as, when we had rehearsal, doing my routines, because that's my job.
Yeah.
I want to get paid. I want to continue to get paid. I have to do my due diligence in my performance for you.
It's so important. So important.
So that's what it's all about, because music is great. So now you have to work on the entertainment aspect.
What you gonna bring
at a certain age, I don't want you like my man Eric Darius, jumping on stage with his sax
doing backflips.
No, I don't want you to do that. No, I don't want you breaking no limbs, none of that.
He got some energy.
Like Chuck Berry.
He got some energy.
No, I don't
doing the splits.
But I want you to be entertaining,
right?
Because that means people are going to come back to say, "Oh, well, yeah, the music was great. He was entertaining." That's what you want them to take away from that.
That's right. Yeah.
And if they can't do that, hey, how much is your CD? Okay, no problem. That's it.
Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're right. What can you
Exactly.
bring?
Exactly.
What can you bring to the stage?
What can you bring to the stage? When I was managing Aziza Miller, and this is the case. And she did a show here in Atlanta, down at City Winery. I handpicked the band. We had rehearsal and sound check the same day. She sent her charts and she sent everybody a CD in the band so they can hear her sound, understand her music. Now, boom. Now I'm there at all of it. These guys, she had them singing background. She had them singing harmonies. She had them doing everything. I went on to the bank. Boom. Gave them their deposit. Boom. Guess what? When they got finished, hey man, now and we talking about A-tier musicians here. Hey, how she like us? She loved y'all. She said she wish she could take you everywhere she goes. That's how good they were. That's how everything went.
Right.
And this was on, Yvonne, you know the business here. This was on a Monday night. What show do you go? What show do you go
on a Monday night,
Yvonne? None.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
None. On a Monday night, and it was raining.
And they putting in that kind of work.
They put in that kind of work, and with her merch, she still sold about $450 worth of merchandise.
Oh my gosh.
So you tell me, that's what you call work.
Yeah. That's what you got to do.
You do.
You
got to do. You only get one chance to make a first impression.
I still had the video clips. She was entertaining. She went out to the edge of the stage. She had people engaged and all involved. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. We were tired at the end of the night.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was well worth the time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt.
And that's what it's all about. For any artist out there, you got to put in the work and be in the game.
That is true.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember? I'm being a little bit cheeky here. Do you remember that period where Miles used to have his back to the audience?
Yes. Yeah.
What would you be telling Miles?
I know, really. Yeah, Keith.
Your ass around.
Put Keith on the hot spot now.
You know what? And it makes no difference who it is. And if it would have been Miles, I would have told him the same thing.
Amen.
You know, but that you're not lying, and we all know it. That was his signature. He'll turn his back to the audience in a minute. You're like, really? You know,
yeah.
In the band that Wilford plays in, his bass player do that.
Does he?
and I told him, I said, you know, because he's not my client.
Right.
I said, but Wilford, you have to tell him to stop turning his back. Dude turned his back, and he be bouncing and doing. I said, do we need an injection? What's up with him?
I know, really.
Dude, he's always like that. No, that's not good. You got to tell him to face the audience. Mm-hmm. So he had a trick for him. The last show that they did, and I looked at the video clip, Wilfred had him in the back. So he was, in the way the stage was set, you can't go no further. So he had to look forward.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, whatever works. That's all I can say.
Yeah. This is true.
You know,
that whole Miles story, man. That thing.
Anything from
if
nobody.
If it had been me, Keith, I'd have told Miles, turn your ass around.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm the great Miles Davis. I can put my back, do what I want. Man, come on. Not at my show, you can't.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, Miles was a special dude.
Yes,
Not
he
about
was.
that.
Very true. Yeah. Okay. Well, Evan, why don't you tell everybody how they can follow you and you know, get your music, where they can purchase, and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, on social media, on all social medias, on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, it's at ECJazz, ECJAZZ or ZZ, ECJazz, or Evan Carydakis, EvanCaryJazz, Evan Carydakis, ECJazz or Evan Carydakis. That's on all the socials. Now, I'm going to tell you my website. It's long. www.evancarydakis. I'll spell it. EVAN. C for Charlie, A for Apple, R for Romeo, Y for Yellow, D for Delta, A for Apple, K for Kilo, I for Igloo, S for Sam. I hope I got that phonetically right. So it's evancarydakis.com.au. Don't forget the .au. evancarydakis.com.au, and you will see, if you Google my name, I beg your pardon, if you put my name into your Spotify, Deezer, or wherever you stream music, you will find my profile on there and my music on there. It's distributed to all the streaming platforms. I think that about covers it.
Cool. Very good.
Cool.
Yes. So that way, who's listening right now can actually go and lock you in into their little, you know, or wherever they lock themselves into. So that's excellent. And let's see, Keith, tell us what's going on over in your area, in your world right now. You got some things going on, or
just doing my standard marketing and promotions, and
okay.
keeping a sharp eye on these guys, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Because I'm always gonna do what I'm supposed to do. You know. I think I'll be back on the air next month.
Okay.
It's been a good hiatus, you know, but like I say, you know, my folks been keeping me very busy, so I haven't missed a beat as far as that goes. But I just talked to Kenny Troy. We had a meeting the other day, so I'll be back on the air sometime next month. Yes, the King of Jazz will be back.
Yay!
The King of Jazz.
So,
all right.
Already know the boots are shaking because I did a promo a month ago and said I'll be back soon. So
all right.
You know, so that's all that's happening my way.
We definitely looking forward to it, man. Because we always enjoy when you do come on, and just appreciate all the things that you're doing for all the wonderful artists under your belt, and also just in general all the independent artists you support. So we appreciate you, man. Really do.
I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
I would say something smart, but I ain't gonna do it.
No, you ain't. No, you ain't. You ain't gonna do that.
Well,
cause you, Gary, come in the chat room. You know, sit down and chill. Where's Ray at? Sleep.
Yeah, sometimes I'll try to call him, see if I can wake him up. But yeah. Now, Vaughn, what do you got going on your side?
Well, I'm just out there supporting a very good friend of mine, a legendary musician here in the city of Atlanta named Edwin Williams, who used to play on the regular at the legendary Dante's Down the Hatch. He's the main bassist for that band. And he and I both have a podcast called Yes Jazz Matters, which you can find on YouTube.
Nice.
And we're getting ready to kickstart that again, try to get some notable artists from the city to be able to talk to and find out what's going on in their lives.
Excellent.
Man, a lot of times I'm sitting back and realizing I'm programming a radio station, doing the music as well.
Yes.
KJLM, it is operating out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Just keeping the music fresh, classic. Going way back to the days of like Fletcher Henderson and Louis Armstrong and all those bands and stuff like that, and trying to bring the new stuff in there too. So and stuff globally connected. My goodness. Yeah. And you know what? I realized today, I miss being on the radio. I really do. I miss playing this great music. I miss informing people who's on the album and where they're from and, what their next release is going to look like. And I mean, I miss it. And hopefully I'll get back to it soon at some point. But right now, I'm enjoying where I'm at. I'm enjoying it. And if you try to look for me, I'm on Facebook under two names. One is Von Coulter and one is Stephen Love Von Coulter. The other one is going to be on Instagram, and it is @thejazz_aesthetic. So that's where you can find me. That's THEJAZZ_aesthetic. And that's my Instagram social media page right there. So you can find me both there and on Facebook.
You mean to tell me you really miss all that hard work? Because people don't have no idea that end of the business, that hard work.
Yeah.
The hard work Gary put in, the hard work Ray put in, doing other things. It's hard work.
It is hard. You're right. It is hard work.
Jack.
But you know something? It's hard work, but you know something? It's fun too.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I mean, if you love it, there's nothing hard about it to me.
Hard about.
Love it.
Yep.
That's why come we ain't complaining and bitching about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's how I am, like that. I'm just like that.
Ray makes it plain. He makes it plain.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you so much, Evan, for hanging out, getting up early, hang out with us today. I know it's tough getting up early, but we appreciate you, man, and really enjoyed your conversation and your music, man. Really do.
Hey, what can I say? Thank you for having me. Thank you and Keith for giving me the opportunity. I love talking to everyone today and listening. I actually love, believe it or not, listening more than talking. And to hear everyone's stories, you know, what people love and what people love to do, from food to music to radio. I love it. I love talking to people. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we're definitely going to keep a watch out for you. Definitely going to keep playing your music over here. And then also, you know, we do have GHPradio.com, which is 24/7 streaming music all the time. So, you know, all of your music is there playing, Evan, along with all the other great independent artists 24/7. So we'll keep
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, well, it's about that time to wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate all of our friends in the chat room and people that are not even in the chat room that may just be listening. We appreciate you very much every week when you come in and hang out and tune in to find out about some of these wonderful, great artists. We really do appreciate that. Next week is scheduled next Saturday. Mr. Tony Exum Jr. will be on the show. So that'll be another great one. And then the following week, I think September 7th, we're going to have another classic band. Well, not the band itself, but the two brothers who actually started the band. We're going to have both. Let me get my my mind right here. I'm almost about to really forget the names, but it's two brothers, the Calloway brothers. They both started Midnight Star, the group, back in the day and stuff. So they're both going to be on September 7th. And then, of course, we got some more people lined up. It's getting to the point where we got pretty much a consistent, people coming on each week, where I'm going to start opening up a schedule page for people to start viewing, so that way they can be already keyed up on what's going to be coming up in the future interviews. So definitely look out for that. But anyway, I want to thank everybody and enjoy your weekend. And we'll see you next week. And I'll leave it to the rest of you guys, starting with Keith. You want to say goodbye to everybody, and then well, first of all, we'll let Evan say goodbye, and then we'll everybody follow up, and then we'll get out of here. Evan, you got anything you like to say?
Yeah, I want to say thank everyone for listening. Thanks for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about my story and my music. And also, I just want to thank everyone else for telling me about what their story and what their loves and what their music's about as well. And it's been a great conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome, Evan.
Thank you.
All right, who's next? Let's go with Keith.
All right, I just want to say thank you for having me on. You know, it's always good being with the family as usual.
As always.
And thank all the listeners and our chat room family. And make sure all of you click the thumbs up button, so we'll let people know what's going on. And you let people know what's going on and invite them to come over and join this wonderful family.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No doubt.
Yep.
All right, Vaughn.
I'm grateful to even be on the show, to tell you the truth. but the thing about it is, I'm still kind of like on cloud nine with being a part of this, and I've learned a lot. I keep learning, and it's everything is falling into place, and I'm just enjoying the ride. And for as long as I can take it, I'm gonna ride it until the wheels fall off.
All right. All right, Mr. Ray Mack.
Well, Evan, hey man, it's our pleasure even have you on the show, boy. At the time you had to get up. I don't know. Look here. I'm about to say this. My friends went to Africa. I got in there late. Well, it was night, whatever. But anyway, I got on the radio show over there. Some point in time in there, I went dead to sleep. Oh no! Most of the time difference. But you know, like I said, I've been over there several times. I enjoy doing it from there also. But you know, like I said, it's our pleasure to have you on the show this afternoon.
Yeah.
This morning.
That too. Absolutely.
Yeah. But you know, we're gonna let you go ahead and get you some more shut eye. Walk the dog on the beach.
That's it.
And what is it gonna get you? A piece of ham?
That ham breakfast breakfast what is it? Bagel?
Bagel.
Yeah.
With a big
Ham and cheese.
Ham and cheese.
But right, this thick. Half an inch.
Man, that's a lot of pork.
An inch.
That's a lot of ham.
So you ain't lying. I don't think I could eat all that. But yeah, man, it's been our pleasure, man. Whatever you do out there, be safe.
Yes, indeed.
Be safe.
More than anything, be safe.
And don't let them kangaroos whoop your butt. Them big old rats. Well, ladies and gentlemen, see you later. Bye.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.